Buddy Curtis here. I decided to post early instead of being late like it was last week. But for the discussion, I chose Adrian Weimer's article, Elizabeth Hooton and the Lived Politics of Toleration in Massachusetts Bay. I picked this article because it directly connects to my research project on the conflict between the Puritans and the Quakers in Massachusetts during the late 1650s and early 1660s. The article argues that Elizabeth was much more than a Quaker missionary. She believes that Hooton's life helps us understand how ideas about religious freedom developed in colonial America. Instead of not only focusing on laws or government politics, he follows Wheaton's experience as she was arrested, banished, and repeatedly how she returned to Massachusetts to preach. Through this event, she argues that the conflict between the Puritans and the Quakers helped shape the discussion about religious toleration in early America. One of the biggest strengths of the article is the way Weimer uses primary sources. She brings together court records, letters, and Quaker writings to tell Hooton's story and explain why it matters. I also appreciate that she focused on someone who does not receive so much attention as Mayor Dyer or other well-known Quaker figures. By doing that, she expands our understanding of the Quaker movement and shows the lesser-known individuals that played an important role in history. Another strength that Weimer plays is Hooton's story with the larger history of colonial New England. She reminds readers that it's not simply a conflict between good people and bad people. Both the Puritans and the Quakers believed that they were defending biblical truth. Looking at the conflict in this way helps us understand the historical context instead of judging it only by modern ideas of religious freedom. I did not think the article had any weaknesses. Most of the discussion focused on the Quakers' point of view, especially Hooton's experiences and beliefs. The perspective is important, but the article spends less time explaining why Puritans leaders believed that they were justified in pursuing the Quakers. Understanding both sides is important because the Puritans believed they had a responsibility to protect both the church and the colony. Without exploring those beliefs in the details, it is harder to fully understand why the conflict became so intense. In other words, instead of understanding both sides of the conflict and just choosing one, this author is not defending, but just clearly stating both sides of the story. The article also connects well with what we've been studying in the course. One thing I've learned is historical events are often shaped by deeply held religious beliefs. The Puritans and the Quakers were not simply arguing about politics. They had different views about scripture, church authority, and the relationship between religion and government. Those different worldviews shaped the discussions at each side made. Overall, I found the article was very helpful in my research. It gave me a better understanding of the Quaker perspective and introduced me to additional primary sources that I could use in my paper. At the same time, it also helped me see where my own research fits in the larger historical conversation, or honestly, where I needed to kind of work more on my primary sources and find a little bit help, or find more help on seeing both perspectives. Instead, I want to compare both the Quaker and the Puritan primary sources and make my own argument of why each side believed they were defending biblical truth. I also want to start looking for both perspectives to show more complex explanation or analysis about this conflict. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great week.